Hello and welcome to Vidya. So let's start with our daily analysis of the Indian Express newspaper, followed by The Hindu, dated 4th of February. So on the first page, the first news which we'll be discussing is India announces diplomatic boycott of Beijing Winter Olympics over Galwan Road. So as India is now also among the list, including USA, UK, Canada, all these nations have already cited that their diplomats will not be attending the upcoming Beijing Winter Olympics. So India has also been added on that list. Why this is so? Because the recent developments, what we have seen with respect to China, that the Chinese official have stated that in the opening ceremony of the Beijing Winter Olympics, one of the torch bearers will be Ki Fabao, who was there in the incident which has happened between or the fight which has happened between India's Indian Army as well as the Chinese PLA, that is People Liberation Army, in the month of 2020 in June. So our official spokesperson of External Affairs Ministry, Shri Arindam Bagchi, has made this statement that it is indeed regrettable that the Chinese side has chosen to politicize an event like the Olympics. That means what the Chinese has done, that India had already said that they will be sending their players, and we were hopeful that everything will goes fine because even at the earlier summit, BRICS summit has as well, wherein we had cited that we'll be attending this particular Olympics, which has been organized by Beijing. But the recent happenings with respect to renaming the torchbearer Keith Abou, who was there in the incident, and the second thing is the recent update with respect to Arunachal Pradesh boy who went to China. Then when he was again came back to India, then his father has made the statement that he was beaten up by his by the Chinese army, and not only beaten up, he was given electric shocks. So he was only just he's only a 17-year-old boy, but still these kind of hardships which has been done by Chinese officials or Chinese Liberation Army, this is not right. So that's why India is also going on for this, with this diplomatic boycott, and Indian diplomats will not be present even in the opening as well as the in the closing ceremony of this Beijing Winter Olympics. So the further elaboration has been given on the second page as well, wherein it's talking about the statement which has been made, and even about the person. The name is Miram Taron, the 17-year-old kid from Arunachal Pradesh who was wrongly went to China. Then he again came back to India. Then even after that, the broadcaster of Prasar Bharati has also, the CEO of Prasar Bharati has also made this statement that will not telecast this opening and closing ceremony of the Beijing Winter Olympics. So as I told you in the beginning, that USA, UK, Canada have already declared that their diplomats will not be attending this particular event, that is Beijing Winter Olympics, along with Lithuania, Australia, Kosovo, Belgium, Denmark, Estonia. All these countries have already cited the same, and India is also among the list, right? So there is another update that the Saudi Arabia Crown Prince, Pakistan's Prime Minister, Russian President, all these leaders will be present at this upcoming event as well. Okay, so on the first page, we'll be discussing this news only, then we'll move forward. This was not the first time that the recent developments, what we have seen with respect to China, other than that, the renaming of 15 names in Arunachal Pradesh, and even after that, we have seen the way the a bridge has been built by the Chinese army at the Pangong Lake. So all these things are the updates with respect to China, which we should be aware of. This is about upcoming elections. Okay, this is a legal update that government never deliberately delayed appointments of judges, said by Kiran Rijiju. So Kiran Rijiju is our union law minister. So in the parliament, when he was questioned about the delay which has been happening with respect to appointment of judges, so he has made this thing clear that we wanted to ensure that there should be full transparency, and those who will be holding the post, they are the ones who are fit with respect to giving decisions. So that's why he has made this statement that the government is not intentionally making it delay with respect to appointment of judges, but there are certain processes which needs to be followed with respect to this appointments. along with that, our Honorable CJI, Mr. N.V. Ramanna, Honorable, has also made the statement that we'll be including more and more women judges. So that's why our Union Law Minister has also reiterated the same thing, that more and more women judges has to be included, has to be, elevated to the High Court, as the High Court judges as well as Supreme Court judges. And this has been initiated because some of the opposition leaders have asked about the lack of women's representation, especially in terms of judiciary. So that's why Law Minister has made this statement. So out of the total Supreme Court judges, if I tell you, there are total 34 number of judges are there, but out of those, only four women are there. So that's why this has also been questioned by the opposition leaders. Okay, then on the government and politics page, this is important, though this is a state news, that High Court stays Haryana law granting 75% quota for locals. So earlier, this thing we had seen that last year in the month of March, this law was passed in the Haryana Vidhan Sabha, that it is mandatory that if those people who are working, and those people who are working at a salary below 30,000, then the state government, or not the state government, the private organizations, those who are working there in the state, that is in Haryana, they will have to compulsorily provide 75% of the jobs as a reservation to the Haryana domicile people, right? So then we have seen this thing that in the month of November, it was notified by the state labor department, and on January 15th, last month, we have seen this thing that this law came into effect. So a lot of organization, corporations, they were against this thing. So that's why they have filed petitions with respect to same. So now what has happened? The Punjab and Haryana High Court has put an interim stay on this particular thing, that they will not be going for this providing of that we should provide. We are providing we are putting it a stay on providing or granting 75% of quota for localites in Haryana. So what these private organization or the petitioners has said, they have said that this will hamper because will provide employment only on the basis of those people who have the capability, who have the ability and the requisite skills, which needs to be which needs to be there with respect to working. So going for something like providing job quota, especially with respect to in a state, this is not right. So that's why these all organizations have put it in pressure, put it in these restrictions. Okay, so this is about the Pegasus, that only two devices submitted, said by Supreme Court panel. So Pegasus issue we are seeing for more than a year, wherein it has led to disruption even in the winter session as well as the monsoon session of Parliament. So now what has happened? Recently, we have seen the three-member committee which has been set up under former Supreme Court Judge Shri R.V. Ravindran has made this thing clear that in the month of January itself, that those people who are of the opinion that Pegasus spyware has been installed in their devices or in their phones, they can report this thing to the concerned technical committee, which will overlook the entire situation, right? And they will also ask for your device as well. So till now, if we see the situation, there are only two people who have submitted this request, or they have said this thing, or they are of the opinion that Pegasus spyware has been installed in their devices. Okay. This is also important that though this is also state news, that Tamil Nadu governor returns bill against NEET, terms it anti-poor. So recently we have seen a lot of incidents wherein there's always been a tussle being going on between the state chief ministers as well as the state governors. So this is also among them, wherein this bill against or regarding NEET, which has been proposed in the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. So now Tamil Nadu Governor Sri R.N. Ravi, who was earlier the Nagaland governor, who is currently the governor of Tamil Nadu, has returned this bill and returned it to the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly of Tamil Nadu. Okay. So this is about the COVID situation right now. As positivity rate falls, hope rises of third wave decline. So as cases are starting to decrease, if we see the current situation, because if we compare the current situation with the previous 10 days or 15 days, the cases are almost getting decreasing on a daily basis. So that's why the Union Health Ministry has also cited this thing, that we are reporting less cases on a daily basis. And now, if we see the situation of January 26, a week prior, we are seeing nearly more than 400 districts were there, nearly 406 districts to be precise, who are seeing a positivity rate of more than 10%. And now, if we see the current situation, there are nearly 300 districts in the country are there which are seeing a continuous rise or a positivity rate of more than 10%. So this has been cited by the Union Health Ministry. Apart from this, Shri Dr. Balram Bhargav, ICMR chief, has also stated this thing that those people who are getting infected with this Omicron variant, and those people who are already vaccinated, it is likely that or nearly 10% of those vaccinated people, they are also getting infected. But if we see those people who are not vaccinated with the same thing, the chances of getting infected with this variant is comparatively higher when we compare it to those people who are vaccinated. And regarding the reopening of schools, this has also been cited that nearly half of the states have already started this thing. They have already made this thing mandatory of reopening of schools. Though cases are increasing on a daily basis, but still all these states are taking curbs because vaccination process has already been started of children. So that's why this is a positive thing that we are going towards reopening of schools, which are closed down for nearly 2 years. Okay, so now we'll move to the editorial page. So the first editorial is Unpacking Growth. Budget emphasize on public sector driven growth raises concerns about sustainability of such a strategy. So here in this particular editorial, the author has criticized the way this budget has been announced. The idea here is in this whole editorial, the author has talked about a lot of facts with respect to the budget speech by our Honorable Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji. So in the initial phase, the author has stated that if we see the current fiscal year deficit to the last year fiscal deficit, the government has estimated it at 6.9%. But now, as the continuous in terms of taxes, the government is receiving more than 1 lakh crore as GST collections per month. So that's why we have seen this thing that if we see the current situation, the current deficit is at 6.6%. But if we see the upcoming budget, even the deficit, the fiscal deficit has been kept at 6.4%. So that's why, according to the author, this is not right that even though we have seen this pandemic kind of a situation, but still, though we are still going on at a lesser budget fiscal deficit, but still, though in the upcoming year, as vaccination is already been going on and everything is going finer, though we are encountering this COVID-19 situation, but still, the government is not so optimistic with respect to decline in terms of fiscal deficit. The author has also cited about the GDP growth rate. If we compare it to the previous situation, the way we were growing and the way the funding has been going on. And if I tell you the crux of this particular editorial, the author is emphasizing on the fact that in this budget, the government or the finance ministry has more so focused towards investment in public sector. Rather, they should focus on private sector, because private sector is that sector which helps in providing more and more employment. And if you're not putting or if you're not giving more and more relaxations to private sectors, because ever since we have seen this pandemic situation, a lot of MSMEs, that is micro, small, and medium enterprises, they are hard hit by this situation. So a lot of reliefs has to be provided in this budget to these MSMEs and these small companies who are working, but this has not been done. Rather, the government has focused towards public sector, which does not contribute much in terms of providing employment. So this has been cited by the author. Then the author has also talked about the way the Reserve Bank of India has talked about the the public sector borrowings, which are the overall borrowings, which the government has said that that will go to nearly 14.2 trillion rupees. So this is also, if we compare it to the previous year, that was nearly 10.5 trillion rupees. But this is also unlikely that we are also going on in a phase wherein inflation is already there, and the focus has already been shifted. Wherein, as I told you, we are focusing much more in terms of developing our public sector. So that will eventually put it in a situation wherein if we see the current situation of the micro, small, medium enterprises and small, medium enterprises, ever since we have seen this demonetization situation which happened in the year 2016, then we had seen this introduction of GST. So as per author, these private sector enterprises were already facing a lot of losses. So this budget was not focusing more on a private sector, rather it was focusing more on the public sector undertakings. Okay, then we'll see the first opinion, that is the digital rupee. RBI must proceed cautiously, remaining mindful of design considerations, wider implications, and challenges. So, as in this budget, the recent budget, which has been announced on 1st of February, so this has been proposed that uh, in this budget that RBI will be introducing its digital currency. So, what the author has cited, that it's not going to be easy, because earlier also we have seen countries like Japan, China, Singapore, Sweden, they have already talked about, and they are already examining this thing of implementing this digital currency, and even US Federal Reserve also, is also working towards the same. So this is going to be a big challenge. But why the government has initiated this? Because of the increase of number of people who are investing in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So that's why it was the need of the hour, wherein the government has to take this decision of going for introduction of digital rupee or digital currency in the country, right? So in coming times we'll see, but more steps means the government should or the RBI should move cautiously with respect to same. Otherwise, it will be a situation in which it will create more and more problems in the upcoming time for the government as well as for the RBI. So the second opinion is about, now you see it. Mayawati breaks a long silence. Her party may need to say and do more to make a fight for it in UP. So though this is a political news, but why I have taken this into account, because a lot of times we are seeing passages with respect to Uttar Pradesh, even in editorials as well, because it is a state which wherein the country is eyeing for in the upcoming elections, because this will pave a way for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections as well in the year 2024. So recently, we have seen that it was long that we have not seen any rally of Srimati Mayawati of Bahujan Samaj Party. So now recently she has came into public and has made this thing clear that I was working silently with respect to holding the elections, and we are quite optimistic that the way we are going on will definitely be able to win more and more number of seats in the upcoming elections. So now, as per the author, what the author is trying to say, that it has been seen that BSP is not so active player in terms of, especially in terms of UP polls. But now with the introduction of Mayawati, now we'll see changes will happening. But now a lot of time has already been done, and now if we see the current situation, there are two prominent players in the Uttar Pradesh elections, that is BJP and against is the Samajwadi Party. So now we'll see how BSP under Mayawati leadership will woo the voters and will eventually help them in seeking votes and support of the voters as well in the state. Okay, on the world section, this is an important news. That is ISIS chief killed in US raid. So this news has been given by the Biden administration or by US President Joe Biden himself, that in another airstrike which has been done by USA again in the northwest part of Syria. So the name is Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qureshi. He was killed. So when he got to know that there has been attack which has been done on him and his house in which he was living in Syria. So what he has done, he has through a bomb blast, he had killed himself and the family members of himself. So this news has been given by the US President and US President Joe Biden, and US President has already made this thing clear that those people who are against and those people who will create a disharmony among the public will not leave them behind, and will definitely take a corrective action against those. And the best example is the recent event which we had, or the US airstrike has done. Then Russia slams US troop deployment to Eastern Europe. So now it's about the tussle which has already been going on between Russia and Ukraine. So as we are discussing it on a continuous basis. So recently what we have seen, that the USA is again and again sending more and more troops to safeguard the interests of Ukraine, because they had already cited this, that they will be including Ukraine under NATO. So that's why it has been hugely been opposed by Russia in the current situation. So now what the Russian spokesperson has made this thing clear, Dmitry Peskov, that as US is sending more and more deployment to Eastern Europe, so this will create a problem and more chaotic situation in the current conflict which has been going on between both the nations, that is Russia and Ukraine. Then FBI confirms it bought Pegasus from NSO Group. So now Pegasus, we are discussing it on a daily basis that even in the recently released New York Times report as well, that has also revealed that in the year 2017-18, when our Honorable Prime Minister had made a visit to Israel, at that time we had purchased and we had signed a deal with Israeli government or this NSO group uh, regarding Pegasus. So now FBI, the USA-based agency, has also confirmed that it has purchased Pegasus from NSO group. Okay, so now we'll move forward to the explained part. So the first explained says is the Pak-China relationship. So why this is in news? Because recently in the Lok Sabha, we have seen that the leader of Congress party and the member of parliament from Wayanad in Kerala, Shri Rahul Gandhi, has made this thing clear, and he has made accusations against this current government that the way the government is handling its diplomacy. Now we are seeing a situation wherein Pakistan and China are coming more and more closer. So this has already been retaliated by some of the BJP leaders, including Shri S. Jaishankar, our External Affairs Minister as well. So through this experiment, we'll try and understand that how the relationship between Pakistan and China are getting increased and are getting better again, like from the past. So this is not the new thing about the statement which has been made by Shri Rahul Gandhi. So if we see the initial situation as well, the relationship between because if we see the current situation, Pakistan and China both are are enemies. If we see, this is not right if I say the enemy word, but still the way both these countries functions, even the recent developments what we have seen with respect to China and the continuous development what we see with respect to Pakistan. So we can't say that these two countries are friendly countries with us, right? Because of the way their government works, or the way their diplomacy works, right? So even not only in this regime, but if we see ever since our post-independence situation as well, there was rising influence between both these nations, like that is Pakistan and China, and even between the wars that we had fought. Even at that time also, both these nations have helped each other, and even in terms of imports as well, defense imports of defense equipment as well. Pakistan is solely dependent upon China because they are not having enough funds. So that's why the used material which are there of China, they send it to Pakistan. So all these things are happening, and even ever since we have seen this 1962 Indo-China war, then even then as well, and even some of the wars that has been fought between India and Pakistan, even the 1965 war as well. So it was somehow being supported by China. Means Pakistan has been supported indirectly by China, even in those wars as well. So the current situation we are in, so we need to handle this situation diplomatically. But this statement is not at all true with respect to what has been made by Shri Rahul Gandhi, that now in the current situation, both these nations have come more closer. This is not right. And even if we see the current situation of change of regime in Afghanistan, now we are seeing that already the stake of China and Pakistan, we are seeing ever since we have seen this change of regime in Afghanistan. So India is handling this situation very diplomatically, wherein recently we had seen that we had met 2 to 3 times the leaders, the foreign affairs ministers of Central Asian region, right? Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. So our government is eyeing and trying to create a huge stake with respect to Central Asian region. So second explained is Haryana's law on local job quota and High Court stay. So this news we had already discussed that recently the Punjab and Haryana High Court has put it a stay on this reservation of providing 75% of job opportunities exclusively to those people who are domiciled to Haryana, right? So if we see if we see the government or the Deputy Chief Minister, Shri Dushyant Chautala, in his manifesto as well, his party's manifesto before election as well, that will try and secure the future of Haryana youth. So that's why the step was towards that. But ever since we have seen this statement or stay which has been put in by the Punjab and Haryana High Court, it was quite opposed, and the Deputy Chief Minister has made this thing clear that we'll fight for the youths of Haryana. Okay, so herein we ends the discussion of Indian Express. So now we'll move forward to the Hindu newspaper. Okay. So the first news on the Hindu on the left hand side is Indian diplomats to boycott Beijing Games. This news we had already discussed. Why this is happening? Because one of the torchbearer will be Ki Fabao, who was the Jawan of PLA and who was a soldier and who is a soldier and who fought between India and Pakistan. The tussle which has gone, which has happened in the year 2020 in 15th and 16th of June, right, which had led to the martyr of nearly 40 Indian personals as well in that particular event, right? So now, as we have discussed this thing already, that Indian ambassador had already made this thing clear that will not be being part of this particular event, which has been in the opening ceremony as well as the closing ceremony, will not be a part of this particular occasion. But though we'll be sending our players, so only one player, Shri Arif Khan, he'll be going from India, and he'll be representing India for this event, that is Beijing Winter Olympics. Then Haryana High Court stays Haryana job quota for locals. This news we already discussed. Then Tamil Nadu governor returns need bill to assembly. Shri R.N. Ravi. This news also we had discussed. Okay. Then we'll move forward. Okay, we can skip this. Okay, now we'll see the first editorial, a border move that will only bolster China. The attempt to delink the strategically important area of Depsang from the ongoing Ladakh border crisis is worrying. So this news, this particular editorial has been written by the author, and he's trying to talk about the recent statement which has been made by our Army Chief General Sri M.M. Naravne, that out of the 6 friction points at Ladakh which are there, we are able to solve 5 friction points. So he had talked in his statement that only patrolling point 15 issue is pending. So that's why we have seen that recently Corps Commander talks, 14 Corps Commander talks had been held in the month of January. Last month we have seen. So according to author, what the author is trying to say that this government or this recent statement which has made by the army chief is somewhat creating a good environment in the country by saying that we are able to solve 5 out of 6 six issues between India and China border, especially with respect to Ladakh. And this will eventually be a booster for the Modi government as well. But the author has cited that we are somehow neglecting this Depsang plain, this region, which is strategically quite important. And if we are not able to if we're not able to solve this particular situation with respect to the dispute at Dipsang Plain, and that will eventually put China in a more advantageous position. So for the time being, it's a good news that 5 out of 6 issues are getting solved, but still a long way to go with respect to solving bordering disputes with China. So the authors initiated with the way China has always, talked about its territorial claims, and even at the earlier wars, we had fought and we had asked about the dead bodies of Indian soldiers. Even at that time, also, what China has made this statement that we are not going to provide, will cremate those bodies. We had already cremated those bodies. Rather, then India has made this statement that we don't cremate these bodies, we rather bury them. So what the Chinese official has done, or the Chinese government has done, they rather buried those Indian soldiers who got martyred and sent the ashes to the Indian government. So the way the China handles this particular situation of handling especially these bordering disputes. So it's not going to be easy. And if I talk about this, the rising influence of and rising relationship of Pakistan and China, so this is going to be a big challenge. And this the author is trying to say that Depsang Plain in Ladakh is going to be a big challenge, and the government needs to solve this dispute at the earliest. Otherwise, this will put government in an advantageous position for the time being, but in future, this is going to be put India at a loss kind of a situation. Then second editorial is the curious case of Meghalaya's COVID-19 relief package. So this whole editorial talks about what Meghalayan government has done recently. They have made the statement that as this pandemic situation is there, so what we'll be doing, we'll be providing uh, cash transfers or cash benefits to those people who are hard hit, especially migrant workers or those people who are working and who are not able to earn. So as a lot of RTIs has been filed and a lot of people are not able to get the sum which has been said, the government had claimed that more than 2 lakh people have been provided with the sum, but when checked about the actual reality, then there are nearly 16,000, odd people were there because a lot of research has been done by different NGOs. So that's why it has revealed that there are very few people who have been given this advantage or this relief which has been proposed by the Meghalayan government of providing this as a COVID-19 relief package. So this has been talked about, and then even at the time when the whole issue went into court, there are a lot of people, those who have filed application for or who have filed proper application with respect to getting this amount, but still they were not able to get. So that's why they have taken their own passbooks and their bank statement, and they had showed even at the particular this hearing has been going on. So yeah, a lot of people, those who are not able to get the amount, they had went there and they had asked for the immediate relief which has to be provided by the Meghalayan government. So what the author is trying to say, both the authors are trying to say in this particular editorial, that if you are providing any sort of relief package, then there should be proper audits, and there should be proper transparency and citizen-centric responsibility, because RTIs can be filed, and when RTI has been filed with this case, then it has been seen that a proper result or it has been revealed that there are nearly 10 to 12% people are there who have got the benefit from this particular package. Then the first opinion, winter is here. The games in China have taken on political significance domestically and globally. So this is about the recent developments and the official boycott of by India as well, including as I told you, there are nearly 8 to 9 countries who had already boycotted or the diplomats have boycotted the upcoming Beijing Winter Olympics. So India is also added on the list. So as I told you, what's the reason? The two reason, the prima facie reason is about this Keith Abao, who has been among the one of the torch bearers, and second thing is about the person who has been Miram Torang, who has recently been got through Arunachal Pradesh into Chinese territory. Then he was again came back. So we got to know that he was harshly being treated by the Chinese army. So the whole opinion is talking about the same the controversy, the way China is working, and with respect to diplomacy, and even they have tried to politicize this particular event. Then the second opinion, a disjointed response, regulatory clarity on crypto assets should have accompanied the tax on traders' profit. So this editorial, as even in the recent budget speech, what we have seen, the major the major update with respect to cryptocurrency, that the government has cited that will be charging 30% of flat taxes on cryptocurrency on the profits, and even will be levying 1% surcharge as well. So what the author is trying to say, that this is not going to be effective right now. This is going to apply from 1st of April this year. So till then, and as the tax authorities are not finalized for the same, and it will kickstart from 1st of July as well. So now it's going to be a big challenge that how this particular issue of because the government has already cited that will not set off the particular this taxes, because unlike in shares, what has happened, if you incur profit in if you incur loss in one year and in another year you earn profit, so that gets set off, and on the remaining profit part you need to pay taxes. But now this is not going to happen. The set off part is not going to happen in with respect to cryptocurrency. So now this has been cited by the author that a proper crypto law has to be formed, and which will eventually help as a base, because more and more number of investors are getting inclined towards investing in cryptos. Then this news already discussed, Indian diplomats to boycott Beijing Games, then High Court stays Haryana job quota. ठीक है. This is about the upcoming elections in the 5 poll-bound states. Third wave saw an increase in number of younger inpatients. So this thing we have seen that the cases are increasing on a daily basis. So recently, the chief of ICMR, Sri Balram Bhargav, has made this thing that those people who are vaccinated, it has been seen that they are less likely to get infected with Omicron variant, and vice versa thing. Means if you're not vaccinated, then there are high chances, there are more chances that you'll be getting infected with this new variant. Then active cases breach 15 lakh mark, 1056 death recorded. So if we see the current situation, the way continuously cases are getting decreased in majority parts of the country. So recently we have seen that even though the deaths are increasing, deaths have surpassed more than 1,000 in the country. But the states which are recording highest number of cases are Kerala, followed by Karnataka and Maharashtra, wherein Kerala is recording a whooping caseload of nearly 42,000 in the past 24 hours, followed by Karnataka with 16,000 and Maharashtra with 15,000 cases. And even the positivity rate in the country is also decreasing if we see the current situation in the country. Then Chandrayaan 3 set for launch in August. So this has been cited by Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh in the Lok Sabha that Chandrayaan 3 this will be scheduled in this year only, and most probably in the month of August will be launching this Chandrayaan 3. Then another news, hologram of Netaji switched off. So recently we have seen that on the 23rd of January, on the day of Parakram Divas, our Honorable Prime Minister has unveiled this hologram-based statue of late Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose ji. So recently it was switched off. So this has been asked by a lot of leaders in the parliament. So that's why the concerned ministry has cited that due to the rain, there may be a situation that there will be short circuit. So that's why we have switched off this particular hologram-based statue for some time. Then IS chief blows himself amid a US raid. This news we had already discussed that he has blown himself through an attack, through bombing. Then Russia deploys more troops in Belarus as the US is also helping and sending its more and more troops to the Ukrainian border. So now what Russia is also doing even in the eastern part of wherein Belarus and Ukraine also shares borders, and earlier also when the Poland Belarus issue was started. The Russian government has helped Belarus. So now what Russia is doing, they are sending nearly 30,000 their troops to Belarus with respect to solving this, or in order to counter the continuous incursion of NATO or USA in the region. Then Putin Imran at Olympics opening. So as on 4th of February today itself, the opening ceremony of Beijing Winter Olympics is going to held. So the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, including the President uh, of Russia, Mr. Putin, and the Pakistan Prime Minister, Mr. Imran Khan, all these leaders will be present. And as we are already aware that Indian diplomats will not be present even in the opening as well as in the closing ceremony of this particular game, Beijing Winter Olympic Games. Okay, so here and we ends the discussion of both the newspapers. That's all from my side. Thanks for watching.